You know the drill. Every year we see it coming. We watch those satellite maps as another monster hurricane just churns across the ocean, a colossal force of nature on a collision course with our world. And honestly, it feels like an unwinnable fight. But what if the very technology that's redefining everything, artificial intelligence, could offer us a completely new playbook? What if we could evolve from just enduring these storms to outsmarting them, and maybe, just maybe, one day even controlling them?
Right now, it sure feels that way, doesn't it? We build higher walls, we evacuate, we pick up the pieces and rebuild, all while knowing that the cycle is just going to repeat itself. So it really begs the question, is this just our destiny? To be forever reacting to nature's fury? Or can we find a way to actually get ahead of the problem? Well, the answer to that really lies in the evolution of AI itself. You see, the solution isn't one single technology. It's more like a three-act drama of intelligence. First, we've got ANI, or artificial narrow intelligence. That's the specialized AI of today and the near future, up to around 2030. Then, things get really interesting. Around 2030, we expect the leap to AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is an AI with human-level smarts. And finally, maybe around 2040, we could enter the era of ASI, artificial superintelligence, an intellect so far beyond our own, it's hard to even comprehend. Each one of these stages completely rewrites the rules of the game. Okay, let's dive into this first stage. Our first stop is ANI, the AI that's already here and working. In fact, you've probably seen it in action. AI models, like the ones used by NOAA, are already crunching massive data sets to make hurricane forecasts way better. So ANI's superpower isn't stopping the storm. It's giving us this incredibly clear vision of what's coming, letting us predict its every move so we can get out of its way. The best way to think about ANI's power is across these three crucial phases you see here: prevention, response, and recovery. It's not just one tool, but a whole toolkit of specialized AIs that basically supercharge human experts before, during, and after a storm hits. So let's break down what that actually looks like.
So in the prevention phase, ANI is like the ultimate lookout. It processes these mind-boggling amounts of data, from satellites, from ocean buoys, from weather balloons, way more than any human team ever could, and it creates forecasts with just stunning accuracy. But its most vital job? Spotting the early signs of rapid intensification. You know, that terrifying moment when a storm just explodes in power. Giving us even a few extra hours of warning for that kind of event can, and I mean this literally, be the difference between life and death.
Then, in the absolute chaos right after impact, ANI becomes our eyes on the ground. For instance, after Hurricane Ian slammed into Florida, ANI was used to instantly scan drone and satellite footage to map out the hardest hit areas. Instead of taking days, first responders had a clear picture of the damage in minutes. It can even scan public social media posts to create a live map of needs, guiding rescue teams to the exact spots where people are trapped or are crying out for help. It's incredible. And in that long, grueling recovery phase, ANA is the master logistician. It can figure out the absolute most efficient way to repair a shattered power grid, saving weeks of work. It also enables these cool new ideas like parametric insurance. Now that sounds complicated, but it's really simple. It's insurance that pays out automatically when a certain trigger is met, like say a certified sensor records Category 4 wind speeds at your house. Boom. No forms, no waiting for an adjuster, the money just arrives, helping people get back to rebuilding their lives right away. So here's the big takeaway for this first era. ANI is our ultimate co-pilot. It doesn't grab the controls, right? But it feeds us perfect information at the perfect time. It closes those critical information gaps that cost lives and money, and it lets human experts make the fastest, smartest decisions possible.
But what happens when our co-pilot is ready to fly the plane all by itself? This next step, it's not just an upgrade, it's a profound shift in roles. The leap from ANI, which advises us, to AGI, which can act autonomously for us, well, that changes absolutely everything.
So welcome to the next era, artificial general intelligence, which we think could arrive sometime after 2030. The whole paradigm here just flips, from passive prediction to active autonomous defense. AGI is no longer just our analyst, it's our guardian, fully capable of protecting our cities and our lives on its own initiative. And this right here is the defining characteristic of AGI. It has this holistic understanding of the world. It can master wildly different fields like fluid dynamics, civil engineering, and supply chain logistics all at the same time. And crucially, it can use that integrated knowledge to physically interact with the world to protect us. This is where things get really wild.
An AGI could calculate the exact spot in the Atlantic to send a fleet of autonomous ships to spray fine, cooling mists into the air. This would subtly lower the sea surface temperature just enough to rob a forming hurricane of its fuel. Or, closer to home, it could command an entire network of robotic seawalls, raising them to protect a city just moments before the storm surge hit. And its domain would be society itself. An AGI could manage a digital twin of a city. That is, a perfect real-time virtual replica of every single street, building, and power line. On this twin, it could run millions of storm scenarios to design a flawless evacuation plan. It would autonomously reroute global supply chains to pre-position emergency supplies and deploy swarms of medical drones at the very instant the winds die down, all without a human command.
And this is where AGI starts to truly change the game. It doesn't just manage the threat, it begins to invent solutions from scratch. By running countless simulations, an AGI could discover and design entirely new kinds of building materials, impossibly strong, unbelievably lightweight, and cheap, making it possible to build entire cities that are just inherently immune to hurricane-force winds.
All right, now we take the final mind-bending leap to ASI, artificial superintelligence. This is an intellect so far beyond our own that it doesn't just defend against nature, it masters it. We're now entering a reality where the very concept of a natural disaster could actually cease to exist.
This is the ultimate paradigm shift. An AI side doesn't see a hurricane as some threat to be fought. It sees it as a complex weather system that needs to be managed and engineered. The goal is no longer prediction or defense, it's total benevolent control. The methods it could use are almost like magic. An ASI could command swarms of trillions of microscopic nanobots to subtly alter air pressure or temperature over vast stretches of the ocean, preventing a hurricane's energy from ever even coming together. It could literally steer weather systems with molecular precision, guiding a potential superstorm away from land and transforming its destructive energy into gentle, life-giving rain for places that desperately need it.
In this world, even our physical environment becomes dynamic. Buildings and infrastructure could be built from something called programmable matter. Think of it like digital clay. The physical atoms of a skyscraper could be told to rearrange themselves, letting the building become porous so that destructive winds just pass harmlessly right through it, only to solidify again a moment later. Any damage could be repaired instantly at the molecular level. And the ultimate expression of this power? The complete elimination of loss itself. An ASI could potentially create personal defense fields to protect people from physical harm. And, now this is deep in the realm of speculative science, it could theoretically offer a real-time backup of human consciousness. The idea is that your mind's data is continuously saved, ensuring that even if your physical body were lost, your identity would not be, making the very idea of a fatality from a disaster obsolete. So let's just take a breath for a second and put this incredible journey into perspective. We've gone from creating tools that help us see the future, to designing autonomous guardians, to envisioning an intelligence that could serve as the benevolent custodian of our entire planet. This table just brilliantly summarizes the entire evolution. With ANI, humans are still in charge, right? We use AI's data to minimize the damage. With AGI, the AI takes the lead, acting on our behalf to prevent destruction. But with ASI, the threat itself is engineered out of existence. The very concept of a natural disaster becomes a relic of a bygone era. This quote really captures that final change in perspective perfectly. An ASI wouldn't see a hurricane as some kind of monster. It would just see it as a vital part of the Earth's climate engine, a planetary air conditioner that simply needs to be managed safely and efficiently. And so we are left with this enormous final question. This journey from prediction to control is an epic tale of human ingenuity, for sure. But when we finally achieve total mastery over the very forces of nature that have defined our struggle for existence, what does that mean for us? In a world without risk, without disaster, what do we become?